Across America,
200 million Americans are facing heavy snow, sleet, freezing rain, and dangerously cold air.
Across America, something feels off. The cold is growing harsher, the ground is failing without warning, and trees are breaking as lightning strikes without notice. These aren't separate events. They're unfolding together, quietly, and leaving people with the feeling that something serious is changing.
Oh my god. Our roof just blew off.
Never before has America faced so many unsettling signals at the same time. What once felt familiar now feels fragile. The cold is no longer just winter. It has transformed into a relentless force, pressing communities to their limits and exposing how vulnerable modern life truly is.
Dude, it looks like it might...
Places once considered safe are being pushed beyond their breaking point, often without warning. Above it all, the sky itself no longer feels quiet or predictable. Something has changed, and people can feel it. Strange lights have appeared in the clouds. Unexplained sounds, deep and resonating, have echoed across neighborhoods, stopping people in their tracks. Many have paused, looked upward, and felt a question rise in their hearts. What is really happening to our world? Across the United States, winter is not easing. It is intensifying. Meteorologists warn that this season is pushing beyond what many Americans have experienced in decades.
The year.
This is no longer just uncomfortable cold. In many regions, it has become life-threatening. Temperatures across the North and Midwest continue to plunge. Snow is no longer melting. It is accumulating, layer upon layer. Ice coats roads, rooftops, power lines, and infrastructure already under stress. Bitter winds drive wind chills to dangerous extremes, capable of causing serious injury within minutes. The scenes are deeply disturbing. Vehicles abandoned along frozen highways. Schools and businesses shut down. Neighborhoods cut off as snow and ice block emergency access. For the elderly, the homeless, and families without reliable heat, this cold is not an inconvenience. It is a struggle for survival, hour by hour. What makes it even more alarming is that forecasts suggest the worst may still lie ahead. Additional Arctic systems continue to form, threatening stronger storms, harsher winds, and longer stretches of extreme cold. Each wave pushes communities closer to exhaustion, testing the limits of preparation and resilience. Amid these brutal conditions, one image has stood out. Ordinary people kneeling in prayer outdoors, surrounded by ice and wind. No stages, no announcements, just individuals facing forces beyond their control and lifting their voices upward. It is not a performance. It is a human response. When technology, forecasts, and planning reach their limits, people are forced to confront deeper questions of humility, faith, and dependence. This winter is testing more than physical endurance. It is testing the emotional and spiritual strength of society. Authorities continue to issue urgent warnings to stay indoors, conserve power, and protect against frostbite, blackouts, and accidents. Yet beyond these alerts lies a quieter message. Do not ignore what is unfolding. When cold lingers and intensifies at this scale, it becomes a reminder of how quickly the familiar order of life can be disrupted. Then, without warning, the ground itself began to fail. In areas that had remained calm, with no blizzards or chaos, people believed they were safe. Life felt normal. And then, in seconds, everything changed. Roads vanished, homes were swallowed, vehicles disappeared into darkness. Massive sinkholes opened silently, leaving behind gaping voids where stability once existed. People stood frozen, struggling to comprehend how something so solid could collapse so suddenly. What makes sinkholes so unsettling is their unpredictability. Unlike storms or earthquakes, they offer no clear warning. They arrive without mercy. They remind us of a truth humanity often forgets. We do not truly control the foundation beneath our feet. Along coastal regions, landslides have followed a similar pattern. Land that had endured for generations suddenly gave way, collapsing into the sea and carrying homes, trees, and memories with it. Experts point to erosion, rainfall, and weakened geological structures. These explanations may be accurate, yet for many, a deeper question remains. Why are these events happening so frequently, so suddenly, and so close together? The sky itself has added to that unease. Witnesses across multiple regions have reported clouds behaving in unfamiliar ways. Thick formations twisting and rolling. Colors shifting from deep gray to dark red. Brilliant flashes cutting through the clouds, sharper and more intense than ordinary lightning. And then came the sound. A deep, resonating blast, unlike thunder. A sound many described as a trumpet, vibrating through the air and into the chest. People stopped what they were doing. Conversations ended. Phones were lowered. Eyes turned upward. It was not panic. It was something heavier. A quiet fear rooted deep within. Many felt instinctively that this was different. Not just weather. Not just noise. Social media quickly filled with videos and testimonies, people asking the same question. What is happening to the sky? For those familiar with Scripture, the symbolism was difficult to ignore. The Bible speaks of moments when the heavens respond, not to terrify, but to awaken. It warns that signs in the sky are meant to stir reflection, not hysteria. The greatest danger is not fear, but indifference. Not chaos, but spiritual blindness. These moments invite people to look up, not only with their eyes, but with their hearts. When we step back and view these events together, the relentless cold, the collapsing ground, and the unsettling signs in the sky, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss them as coincidence. Scripture teaches that creation itself speaks, reflecting both power and patience. When creation begins to strain and fracture, it often mirrors something deeper, not only in the earth, but in humanity. Extreme cold exposes human fragility. It reveals how quickly modern systems can fail. Sudden collapses remind us how unstable life can be when trust is placed solely in structures and systems. Environmental strain shows the cost of neglect, exploitation, and indifference. Caring for the earth is not a political idea. It is a responsibility. When ecosystems are damaged, the most vulnerable suffer first. These warnings are not given to spread despair, but to invite reflection and change. History shows that restoration begins with humility, with prayer, with compassion, with responsibility. Faith in uncertain times does not deny reality. It faces it with trust and purpose. The cold continues. The ground shifts. The skies behave in unfamiliar ways. These are not isolated events. Together, they form a message written across land and sky. The most dangerous moment is not when disaster strikes, but when people stop listening. The question is no longer whether the signs are real. The question is whether we are willing to understand them.